Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. A new month means it's kit building time for me, and as the design team member over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, I am actually hosting the kit this month for the very first time. So I chose this kit. It is the Denim and Blush kit from Coco Daisy from February of 2021. And here's a look at a few of the extras that are options to this kit. Now, when I chose this kit, I thought I would build one big kit, but as I was working and thinking, I decided to go a different direction, and that is to build 5 mini kits, 4 of which I'll show you today, but I'm hanging on to the 5th one for something in the future. The reason I made mini kits is because I have Load this month, which is the Layout a Day challenge, and when I'm creating a layout a day, I want a variety of page kits to go with a variety of stories to tell. Now let me show you how I interpreted a single kit into 4 separate kits with different moods. The first thing I did was to print out the inspiration photo and make some notes on it of the different moods I'm trying to capture. So 1 is floral, 2 is love, 3 is geometric, and 4 is kind of everyday life. So here you can see me starting with the florals. So I pulled anything that kind of seemed to fit that mood and made a big stack of papers, and now I'm narrowing it down. So I chose those 2 florals, and then I'm choosing some supporting papers to go with it. I've got a little bit of this Moroccan tile style, and then some solid yellow, well, textured yellow. I think it's like a subtle feather print. And then a couple of other supporting papers in the kit colors, so peaches and navies, and a little bit of yellow. And then I moved on to the next mood. The next one was love, so I chose a few different heart papers. Now that second heart paper had this magenta color to it, which is a direction I could have gone, but with the other supporting colors of pattern paper I had, it didn't quite work. And likewise, that black pattern paper wasn't quite right, so I set all that aside and I stuck with the kind of peachy and navy colors for that kit as well. And then the third mood here is the geometrics, and I have a lot of geometric pattern paper, so I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this when I first started. I really liked that hexagon print, but in the end I will drop that one because it has a more rustic vibe to it, and all of the rest of these have a very graphic vibe to it. So I did drop that one. But again, I'm choosing colors in navies and pinks and a little bit of lighter blue here because that was a secondary color in the main inspiration kit. And so that is how I'm building this one. So while my color palettes are very similar across most of these kits, the mood is very different. So now this kit here was started with that piece of pattern paper, which was inspired by the word embellishments in the kit. And this one is where I stray the most from the color palette, and I go heavily with just the blues. And I did pull out some more text prints to possibly add in here based on that text print mood. And I am going to turn that first text print into embellishments that have everyday life vibes to them. And then I'm narrowing the papers down to get to my final choices. And then I put all of my papers into a page protector with a label on them for each mood, and I've added a little pouch here that's going to store the embellishments, and then all of these will go in a drawer together to save for when I'm ready to make my layout a day projects, and I'll leave you links for that project below if you're curious about how that works. Now, here's where I'm going to take some of the pattern papers that I was playing with and turn it into embellishments. The first is that strip of words that I talked about, and this has lots of phrases all across, and it was pretty easy to just put my trimmer in there and line it up in between each strip of words and cut them all apart that way. And then with my scissors, I can go in and just cut apart individual words or individual phrases that really grab my attention and work for maybe some of the stories I might be telling. The second pattern paper was a cut apart of these little tiny squares, and I cut those apart, and then I'm making a few different stacks that will go in each of the kits mostly. Now, in order to store these teeny tiny words, here's a tip. I am using this Glad press and seal. There might be other brands, but this is the brand I've got. It's the Glad brand, and it has like dots of wax or something on it, and when you push items down into that, they can stick there. And that will keep all of these pieces easy to read, visible, and I won't lose track of them. And I'm going to fold this up so that it's easy to store because it is slightly sticky. You don't want to just throw that in with your kit. And I am making sure that I have words arranged so that I have space to fold. And then I fold it in on itself to hide away that stickiness. And then I can move on to the rest of my embellishments. I've got all my kits laid out separately, and I'll give you a peek at what inspired me for each grouping of embellishments for each kit. So we'll start here with the love kit, and you can see everything I've got going on there. Now there is a love theme, a slight love theme in the inspiration kit with the kind of what I call a nod to Valentine's Day. So I chose hearts, I chose the word love, I did go with the color scheme, and then the inspiration kit had some enamels with sparkle in it, so I found some sparkle enamels that will work with my kit. It did have some chipboard circles in the inspiration, but I went with circle flare badges instead. And then I added in more lovey themes with some puffy hearts and wood veneers, and then some homemade embellishments, which I will have a video for on the 4th for the Forgery on the 4th project. Now if we move on to the floral kit, again I have some navy going on in here with the peach and pink, and I do have a little bit of that lighter blue. And then again, those circle chipboards led me into circle embellishments in flare and kind of wood buttons. And then also on that sheet was some floral embellishments. So I created my own floral and greenery embellishments, which I will include that in that Forgery on the 4th video coming up. If we move on to this Everyday Life kit, we can see that I have more flare badges, again inspired by that. We've got those words that I mentioned before inspired by that, and that small piece of pattern paper had a text print to it, so that did inspire my text print. And then there were label and tab die cuts that I definitely threw into this one, and it's heading in more of an office-y vibe direction, so I added in some paper clips and a few punctuation style embellishments in wood veneer, and then that completes that kit. And here was my geometric kit, which was actually inspired by, there were some arrow embellishments in the inspiration image and a little bit of chevron on some of the embellishments, and that was the entire jumping off point for this kit. And then I did pull in most of the colors from the kit to include. Now, because I was going with a very geometric, I went in and pulled out shapes from, I do have a little bin of just random shapes, so I pulled those out. I pulled out several arrow embellishments, and again I wanted to get the circle vibe from that chipboard, so I have a few wood veneer circles and some flare badges that all have a very kind of funky form to them. And then I didn't have a lot of enamel dots here. I do have some arrow enamel dots, but I pulled out these little acetate pieces, which I'm going to also use like enamel dots, and they are just random geometric shapes. And then of course I've got some of these homemade tickets, which I've included in every single kit. And once again, that video will be up on the 4th. Now that 5th kit that I mentioned won't be a video here. Instead, it will be up on my blog tomorrow because it is a smaller project. It didn't warrant a whole video. And I'm going to show you how I take this same inspiration and twist it into a different color palette that strays away from the heavy pink theme going on here, because I know a lot of people aren't lovers of pink. So I do hope you will check that out. I will leave you a link to my blog so you can pop over there and see what I did. I hope you found this video helpful in how the Counterfeit Kit Challenge can be flexible to meet your own style of scrapbooking needs. If you did get something useful out of this video, I would appreciate a like because that does help my channel. And I will be back tomorrow on the blog with that 5th kit project, as well as here on YouTube on the 4th with that Forgery on the 4th embellishment building project. So I hope you will join me for those. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.